because the pain of losing them is horrific. Like, I remember I bought my mum's auntie, so my great aunt or grand aunt, as we call it in the Caribbean, like your grandparents' sister, your grandmother's sister. And we bought her a budgerigard, a bird, a pet bird. And because she was old, she was like in her 80s or late 70s, and her husband was 10 years younger, but he still worked as a builder, and she was lonely. She was from the generation born in like 1915 or 19, I don't know, 1920, or either 1915 or 1920. And so she was very old when I met her. And I remember, like, she really liked me, like, even though I met her when I was like 12, I think, and I hadn't known them or grew up with them before. It was like I got back in touch with them after they fell out with my mum, and then it was like I brought the family back together, or I tried to, but they were also dysfunctional, so it was weird. Even though they liked me, they didn't like my mum because she was like the black sheep of the family, and then they sort of, some of them hated the black sheep's children. But so anyway, I was always nice to her, kind to her. And when we bought her the bird, and she was like, wow, like, this is great, because it was a surprise. And it was like the bird was like her little soulmate. He jumped out of the cage. We opened the cage door so he could sit on top of we put the food on top of the cage to get him used to the kitchen. Like, he was going to live in the kitchen, but we said, oh, we have pet birds and we just let them fly around the kitchen sometimes to get exercise. We shut all the windows and doors and just monitor them, let them. And then sometimes they'll have a fly around, but then they'll sit on the cage most of the time. But sometimes they're like, oh my God, the door's open, and they start flying crazy. And but then when they realize that, oh, you're going to open the door every day, they don't panic when the door's open, like they got to escape. Because the door's always going to be open most of the time unless they're sleeping, and we want them to stay in the cage. But yeah, so she was so excited. And most budgies only live about 2 years. I'm not sure why. They have a really short lifespan, like hamsters, really short lifespan. They just drop dead sometimes after like 2 years. It's weird. And that's why I bought a tortoise one time, because I was like, he'll outlive me and my kids and grandkids could look after him. But that's what I thought at the time. But I ended up giving him to another family because it's very expensive. The reptile lights and all what do they call it? Like the thing you have them in, the terrarium or whatever it is, the enclosure is very expensive to always like constantly. Like the bulbs were like 20 quid each, £20 for one light bulb, UVA, UVB, just, and the heat lamp. Oh, so much stress. But I did enjoy, he was so adorable, lovely tortoise. But and then because we don't get enough hot weather here, I didn't feel comfortable just having him outside. And then we didn't have a garden, so I didn't want to take him into like the park. So I always had the heat lamp on for him, so it was expensive. Anyway, so then, yeah, we gave her the budgerigard bird as a pet, and she loved him, adored him. He literally would jump out of the cage and run up her arm, like fly over to her arm while she was doing washing up or something, and run up her arm and sit on her shoulder like a pirate. It was so cute. And it was like they were a match made in heaven. Like, he was so perfect for her. He was so animated and like a little person, like a little flying person. It was weird. And then she adored him. He seemed to adore her. He never bit her. He just loved her, and he brought her so much joy. And we'd never seen her so happy. It's weird. Like, she was a very stern woman, and I'd never seen her giggle. And then when he gave her this bird, and we went back to visit her a month or two later, she's just giggling with the bird on her shoulder like a pirate. Just so funny. And I was like, look at that. Look how a little animal can just bring you so much joy. And so, unfortunately, when he passed away, the bird, um, you know, was such a close companion of her. Just like how when you lose a dog, it's like a part of the family. So even though you wouldn't think a budgie would be like a severe loss of grief, But it is anything that is living, any sentient living being has a soul. Everything has a soul. I mean, trees even have energy. Everything has a living, sentient beingness about it, you know? So when she rang, like one morning, early in the morning, and she was crying, and I'd never heard her cry. She was so stoic and strong that I'd never heard her laugh or cry before that little bird. And he touched her heart so much and opened up like the childlike happy side of her, that when he died, even though he was just a little blue and white budgie, she was distraught, like she genuinely lost a member of her family. And we were confused, like, oh, it's just a budgie, we'll buy you another one. And she was like, no, his little soul, I loved him. And we're like, yeah, we know, but we'll get you another one. And she was like, no, won't get another bird, because if I knew the pain I would feel right now losing him, I wouldn't have even opened my heart to get the bird. Like, and we felt bad because we just surprised her with the bird, you know, we didn't ask her first. And I kind of get what she means, that feeling of when you fall in love with something, anything, you know, an animal, a person, you know, even a job or a profession or something you do that makes you happy in your life, when you lose it, it's soul crushing, it's painful, you grieve its loss. You know, just like if let me think, like when I was going to say something, now it's slipping out of my mind, hold on. Yeah, you grieve the loss of anything that is close to you, you know. So, oh, that's what I was going to say. I remember thinking that I have nothing to lose, as in children, husband, marriage, tons of family who love me. I truly don't feel like I would care if my heart stopped right now. And I don't want to trigger anyone by saying that, but I don't care if I die right now, this second, only because I genuinely know I will go home to the spirit world, be safe and sound and happy, and leave this horrible, sick world behind, and be so glad that I'm not here anymore. Not to hurt anyone who does love and care about me, but I would happily leave this earth right now, you know. But my destiny is to stay here and help many people. So I try and hold on for them, you know, even if I don't feel happy here in myself, because people always mistreat me and it's getting really tired now and boring. And, you know, I'm so bored of like this sick world. I'm bored of it. I hate it. I can't stand it. It's just like, ugh. I mean, but it's like don't fear death whatsoever. And that's not because I have a death wish. It's not because I'm a risk taker. I just genuinely know I would go back home. This is not our home. And we're just stuck here trying to fulfill our life plan, our mission, because when you complete and learn these harsh lessons here, when you go home, you evolve and you become more, you know, ascended master and more powerful. Not to use that power for anything bad, just there's a reason why, you know, you choose these difficult lives. Anyone who's had a really severely difficult life with severe trauma and pain and grief, just know you were one of the brave souls who came down here and chose those difficulties. You were one of the bravest ones, because you looked down from our home, you know, our spirit world, and you saw how difficult it would be down here, and you still said, I'm up for the challenge, I will complete my mission, I will go down and take this mission. And just remember that you, when you feel weak and that you can't go on, you know, it's hard, but, you know, pray for strength and pray for God and his angels to intervene and help you, give you the strength to finish your mission. And if it is too much and you can't finish your mission, just know you will go home and be safe in the spirit world. You know, you don't have to fear death, you don't have to feel guilt and shame. You know, if anyone can't handle this life and chooses to take themselves away from here, there is no shame in that. And I think it's really wrong of people to say, oh, that's the coward's way out. No, it's not. How dare you speak ill of people when you don't even know what they're going through? You have no idea what the next man or woman or child is suffering. Just because someone walks outside and is laughing and joking and smiling, you have no idea the pain and the grief they hide behind that fake smile or that brave face. You have no idea. So don't you dare like judge others who the grief overwhelmed them. You know, you don't know what people are going through. And I think that's very sad that people consider people who couldn't make it through cowards. How dare you? You know, you have no idea. When those same people would be cowards and go out and hurt people and not hold themselves accountable and not change their ways, not change their evil ways, you think you're more brave because you stay here and abuse people and destroy people? Not at all. So anyway, but yeah, like I said, when you sorry, I was trying to make a point and then I went off on another tangent. So yeah, like I said, I don't feel like I have anything to lose. So to me, I don't worry as much about um like people are always desperate to find someone new. I don't care if I find someone new to be with, to be a friend with, or to be, you know, the people who know me already, I don't mind having them in my life because I already know them. But all the bad, like all the potential new bad people, I'm not in a rush to meet them. And if I do go out into the world and try and make a new friend, soon as I see you're acting crazy, you're being weird, I'm just will drop out of your life. I don't need to tolerate any abuse or stupidity, or if you're trying to make me feel bad because you feel jealous or inferior to me when I'm not even doing anything to you. I'm trying to lift you up and encourage you. I don't need that. You know, I got my own stress, I got my own problems. You know, if I'm trying to lift you up, even though I'm in a depression and I don't want to be here every day and I don't feel like waking up, but yet I have enough kindness to give you kind words of encouragement, to encourage you to keep going. Even when no one is encouraging me, I have to encourage myself. I have to, you know, pat my own back and say, you're doing okay, keep going. You know, you're a good soul, keep going. You deserve better than that. Drop that person who's, you know, abusive or rude or don't appreciate you. They want to play games, let them go play with someone else. You know, when they're ready to be a grown up, they can come back. When they're ready to be respectful and real and not play silly games, then they can come back. But come correct. Don't come back if you're not going to come correct. And that's just truth and facts. We're too old to be playing these dumbass games, like for real. And so yeah, like I said, I used to envy people who had everything I considered important: a good marriage, children, great family. But now I don't even envy those people, to be quite honest, because when I see how you know how distraught they are at the thought of losing all those things that they hold dear, that depression and stress is what they carry. So I'm carrying, I guess, the depression and stress of not having those things, grieving the life I wish I had, that I deserve, you know, the life I deserve that I don't have. It's weird because they're grieving and worrying about, oh no, I don't want to lose my kids, I don't want to lose my wife, I don't want to lose my house, I don't want to lose. And I'm just like, I don't even have those things to care about. I'm sort of grieving the fact that I didn't have a great family. I didn't have a good husband. I don't care to go out and find another man who's probably going to be the same as the last one. I don't have the energy to. I'm happy to just stay alone. And if someone good comes into my life, great. But I'm watching you. I'm not going to be letting anyone pull the wool over my eyes. You know, you can put on that fake smile as much as you want, but energy never lies, and I'll see right through that mask, and it will be shown to me through my psychic gifts, through dreams and visions, exactly who you are and why you're in my life and what you want from me. And you know, I won't tolerate any abuse. I mean, the only reason I even let the guy from Tennessee get away with so much is because it was shown to me that he was supposed to come into my life and trigger me. It was a test. I was his test and he was my test. And now I've completed my part of the test. I chose self-respect. It was, are you going to continue to let someone think they have control and power over you and playing silly games. Playtime is over now. You allowed, the feeling of feeling guilty if I stood up to someone who was suffering